Good morning, all of you. Anyone in campus? We have started the session in your classroom. Okay? Classroom number 308. I think you know that. So let's begin with the section number 54GA. In last lecture, we have seen that it is available to all the SSC. SSC, individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, partnership firm, companies, all. It is available for all. The exemption is available to all category of SSCs in respect of capital gain arising on transfer of fixed assets other than furniture and fittings of industrial undertaking effected in the course of shifting of such industrial undertaking. So, those furniture and fixtures which are used to transfer the unit from urban area to special economic zone, that will be available, that will not be available, okay, other than furniture and fittings used, okay. So that will not be available, other than all the things will be available. Now, how to claim? The conditions for claiming exemptions. First point, the transfer is effected in the course of or in consequence of shifting the undertaking from an urban area to, says, from urban area to special economic zone. Special economic zone may be developed in any urban area or any other area. Any urban area means, for example, if you are in Bangalore, so in Bangalore there will be a particular area that will be considered as special economic zone. Why? Because to boost that area, to provide other facilities, like for example, I have given you the example yesterday. One area is in Gujarat and one area is in Bihar. So which one you choose? Obviously the area which is more beneficial to you, that is Gujarat, okay. So what government does, government announce Bihar as special economic zone. Why? Because in that area government will provide you some benefits. So that's why businessmen or entrepreneurs will choose Bihar special economic zone, okay. So that is what written over here. First point, any other area means area not declared as urban area. Urban area means, definition is given, what is the meaning of urban area and what is the meaning of special economic zone. So urban area means any such area within the limits of municipal corporation of municipality, as the central government may, having regard to the population, concentration of industries, need for proper planning of the area, proper planning of area, that's what I told you, proper planning of the area, and other relevant factors by general or special order declared to be an urban area for the purpose of this subsection. Special economic zones, now definition is given. It means, says, notified under the proviso to the subsection 4 section 3 and subsection 1 of section 4 of the Special Economic Zone Act 2005. This is not relevant for us, which section will be applicable. We just want to know what is the meaning of says, that's it, and includes an existing special economic zone, okay. Done. So urban area to special economic zone, industrial undertakings transfer from industrial urban area to special economic zone. Yes, it is like free zone, Javik. Government will provide you so many facilities if you do your business from sales. Tax-free zone and other facilities. Now point number 2, assets transferred is machinery, plant, building, land, or any right in building or land used for the business of industrial undertaking in an urban area. So if you transfer all these things, you will get the benefit. Point number 3, capital gain arising on asset transferred, either it may be short term or it may be long term. You will get the benefit in both the cases. Normally, it will be short term capital gain because most of the assets of the industrial undertaking will be depreciable assets. Now, at the time of learning depreciable assets, I told you that all the depreciable assets, if you transfer it, it will be short term capital gain. It will be short term. Why? Because you are depreciating your assets every year. That's why you will get the new amount of your depreciable asset. Are you getting this? Every time, every year, you charge depreciation on it. And after a certain period of time, if you sell your depreciable asset, it's not at the main cost, it has the depreciable cost. That's why it is short-term capital gain. Yes, Brian.
You said you charge 25 or 20% of the depreciation.
Sorry?
You said you charge for depreciation is 25 or 20%.
25.
Yeah, as in the percentage of depreciation.
Okay, percentage of depreciation on which asset? It is different for all assets. Like building, it is 10%. Plant and machinery, 15%. Intangible asset, 25%. Computer and its peripherals, 40%. Yeah. Clear? Now, next point. The capital gain, okay, that is completed. Fourth point, the capital gain is utilized within 1 year before or 3 years after the period specified. For example, if you are transferring your business from today, from urban area to special economic zone, then you have 3 years time period. Afterwards or before, you have 1 year time period. Within this time period, you have to shift your business. You have to shift your undertaking. Now, specified purpose includes here in fourth point, the last words written specified purpose. Specified purpose means for purchase of new machinery or plant for the purpose of business of an industrial undertaking in special economic zone to which the said undertaking is shifted. Point number B, acquisition of building or land or construction of building for the purpose of SS's business in sales. Point C, expenses on shifting of old undertaking and its establishment to sales. In short, all these points are saying from old area to new area, you are transferring the land, building, plant and machinery. So if you purchase new plant and machinery in sales, that will also be included. Incurring of expenses on such other purposes as specified by central government. Done? So this is all about 54. 54 which? Chalo. Class. It's all about, yes, GA. So, any doubt? Or it is clear? Clear? Yes.
I have to be research from section 45 to 50.
Fifth, capital gain. Yes, from 45 to 54. Yes. The whole chapter lies between 45 to 54. Yes. There is one more section, 55 also. 55. Valuation officer. You will get the help of valuation officer for capital gain purpose. So, next section 54GB. It's not in your syllabus. You are not supposed to read section 54GB. Okay. Last exemption section, section number 54H. Afterwards, your exemption will be completed. Extension of time for acquiring new assets. It is nothing but extension of time period. What is the meaning of extension of time period? In section 54, if you remember, you have 2 years time period to purchase new residential house property, or 3 years time period to construct the house property. So, for example, due to this COVID situation, you are unable to purchase new residential house property. Okay, you are unable to purchase the house property because of the lockdown or curfew, whatever it is. So you can demand the extension of time period under this section, section 54H. It is nothing but the extension of time period for acquisition of new asset or depositing or investing amount of capital gain. Okay, so this section states that where the transfer of original asset by way of compulsory acquisition under any law and the amount of compensation awarded for such acquisition is not received by SSE on the date of such transfer, the period of acquiring the new asset by SSE referred to in section 54, 54B, D, EC, F, or depositing or investing the amount of capital gain shall be extended. So it can be extended. The extended period shall be reckoned from the date of receipt of such compensation. So if you receive such compensation, afterwards that date will be applicable. Okay. So this is all about exemption from 54 to 54H. Clear? Now, the most important part. Sir, we have studied what is capital asset. We have studied what is the meaning of transfer. We have studied what is the meaning of long-term capital asset, short-term capital asset. We have studied indexation benefits. Indexation benefits available to cost of acquisition and cost of improvement. We have also studied how to find out capital gain. But sir, after finding capital gain, at what rate the tax will be payable? Rate of tax in capital gain. The most important part, the rate of taxation. Which rate you are supposed to pay the tax? Okay. First discuss rates, then we will discuss this point. Okay. This point we will discuss after tax rate. So first of all, tax rate. So first point, short-term capital gain, tax on short-term capital gain. So short-term capital gain is clubbed with your total income and thereafter charged at normal rate. Normal rate means the tax slab applicable. What is the tax slab? Basic exemption limit. Chalo, reply in chat box. What is the basic exemption limit? Hussein. Brian. Devious. Yes.
The tax slabs for individuals the same as for the company.
Sorry.
This is the exemption limit. As in, the tax slabs, are they applicable to companies and individuals?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Individuals. Individual and actual. There are separate tax rates for partnership firm, companies, AOP. Okay. There are separate tax rates. Okay, so up to 2,50,000, no tax. 2 lakh to 5 lakh, 5%, but subject to the rebate. Rebate available under section 87A. Maximum rebate available 12,500. Yes, 12,500. But if you exceed your limit 5 lakh, then you will lost the benefit of rebate. You will not get the benefit of rebate. Then 5 lakh to 10 lakh, 20%, and more than 10 lakhs, it will be 30%. So whatever short-term capital gain you earn, it will be taxable at normal rate. Normal rate means the rates applicable to other income. Now, however, short-term capital gain on transfer of listed equity shares or unit of equity-oriented fund or unit of business trust where STT, Securities Transaction Tax, STT has been paid, then short-term capital gain will be calculated at the rate 15%. Please mark this sentence. Short-term capital gain will be taxable at the rate 15%. So for example, I have purchased shares of Reliance, okay, on 1st January 2021 for 1 lakh rupee. Okay, if you want to write down this example, you may write down. For example, I have purchased the shares of Reliance on 1st January 2021 and I have paid the STT. Now I want to sell these shares on today, 27th July 2021, and the rate at 1,50,000. Okay, I have transferred the shares at 1,50,000 rupees. So what is the capital gain for me? And it is short term or long term? Chalo, reply quickly. Capital gain or capital loss? And if capital gain, then which capital gain? Short term or long term? And how much capital gain or capital loss? Chalo, calculate fast, it's very easy. 50,000, yes. Okay, so offline students replied. Yes, short-term capital gain 50,000. Now, at which rate it is applicable? Tax will be payable. So tax will be payable 50,000 multiplied by 15%. Okay, normal rates will not be applicable. Why? Because it is clearly written that short-term capital gain, second point, short-term capital gain on transfer of listed equity shares. So Reliance is listed company. So listed equity shares or units of equity oriented fund or units of business trust where STT, Securities Transaction Tax, has been paid, STCG, short-term capital gain, will be taxable at the rate 15%. 15%. Okay. But sir, how can we come to know that Securities Transaction Tax is paid or not? So all the listed shares are transferred by paying STT only. You cannot transfer the shares without paying STT. Okay. You know that now share trading is on demat basis. Demat means online. Okay. So if you purchase or sell anything, you have to pay the STT. Without paying STT, you cannot transfer the shares. So, okay, clear now? Done? Now next point, similar point. However, short-term capital gain arising from transactions undertaken in foreign currency on a recognized stock exchange located in International Financial Services Center, IFSC, would be taxable at concessional rate of 15% even though STT is not paid. So if you are doing the transaction in foreign currency on recognized stock exchange where located in International Financial Services Center, then again 15% will be applicable, but here the change is only one: STT paid or not paid. You will get the benefit of concessional rate of 15%. Okay?
The example you gave us of
Reliance.
yes,
Huh.
I have to get 15% of the 50,000.
Yes.
Like let's say with 5,000.
Clear? Okay. So you have to remember two rates. First one, normal rate for all the short-term capital gain, and second one is 15%. For whom? For shares, equity-oriented fund, and business trust, unit of business trust. And if you transfer it by paying STT, then 15%. And next point, if short-term capital gain is arising from foreign currency stock exchange located in International Financial Services Center, then also with whether you have paid the STT or not, you will get the benefit. You will get the benefit of 15%. Okay, now next point, deductions under chapter 6A cannot be availed in respect of such short-term capital gain on equity shares of company or units of equity oriented fund or business trust included in total income. Now sir, what is this? Deductions under chapter 6A. This is your module number 3. Deductions under chapter 6A. Right now we are learning module 1. This is your module number 3. We have learned so many incomes: salary, house property, PGBP, capital gain, and one more income we will learn, and that is other sources. After all these things, we will do the total, and from this total we are allowed some deductions. That is nothing but chapter 6A deductions. Okay, that we will discuss in third module. So if you have short-term capital gain, you will not be eligible. You are not eligible to get the benefit of deductions. Okay, you cannot invest anything, or if you have invested, you will not get the benefit. Yes.
In this kind of question, is it where we are going to start like allowing for an allowable deduction?
Sorry, point, which point?
In chapter, deductions under chapter 6.
Deductions under chapter 6A. Okay, cannot be available.
Allowable one is allowable deduction.
No. It is only one, chapter 6A only. It is allowable for all, but there are certain exceptions. This is first exception. If you have short-term capital gain, you will not be eligible. For example, if you are a salaried person, okay, you have on salary 10 lakh rupees, and simultaneously you are doing the trading of shares. Okay, so 10 lakh rupees salary, and from short-term capital gain from trading of shares, you have on 10 lakh more. So your total income is 20 lakh rupees, and you have invested 2 lakh rupees in deductions. So that 2 lakh rupees will be available from salary only. It is allowed to be deducted from salary only, not from short-term capital gain. Okay, you have to pay 15% as flat on that 10 lakh rupees. Clear? So this is short-term capital gain. Now long-term capital gain. 20%. 20, but not 20% for all. Now resident persons other than companies, resident individual and HUF 20%, partnership firm LLP 20%, and other domestic company 20%. Unexhausted basic exemption limit can be exhausted First, against long-term capital gain under section 112, unexhausted basic exemption limit cannot be adjusted against long-term capital gain under section 112. Now, what is this? That we will discuss later. Why? Because we don't know what is 112 and 112A. Now, non-corporate, non-resident, 20% or 10%, with benefit or without benefit. With benefit of indexation or without benefit of indexation. In case of transfer of listed securities, transfer of listed securities means again the listed shares of Reliance, Tata, all the companies which are listed in stock market other than units, zero coupon bond, long-term capital gain would be taxable of the lower of the following: 10% without benefit of indexation, 20% with benefit of indexation. So you have to calculate twice. First, without indexation. Without indexation means purchase price, sales minus purchase directly. You are not allowed any indexation. Whatever amount capital gain will arise, you have to multiply it by 10%. Next method, sales price minus cost of price but indexed price, cost of purchase plus index. So sales minus index cost of acquisition, whatever amount you will get, you multiply by 20%. And whatever the difference, whatever the lowest amount from 10% to 20%, you will allowed to pay the tax on it. That will be taxable either. Lower of the following rates. Look, read please. Now, one more chart. This is the same thing. But this is very easy if you want to take the screenshot, okay? This is easy to understand. 10% without benefit of indexation, 20% with the benefit of indexation. Yes?
This one.
Yes.
What was in the text?
Tax?
Is it not part of the PPT you sent us in class?
No, this is not part of your PPT. This is another module. This is the book of CA, Chartered Accountants. And this one is part of your module. Both are same, but in here it is given in detail and here it is synchronized. Okay? But this will be beneficial for you to understand. All the other assets, 20%. If you want to take the screenshot, then you may take it. Now, this part. Amendment in Finance Act 2018. Applicable on sale of equity shares, first of all, listed equity shares. Okay, listed means recognized in stock exchange, or unit of equity oriented fund, or unit of business trust, where such sale transaction is chargeable to STT. Okay. Now, prior to 1st April 2018 means before 1st April 2018, any long-term capital gain on such specified securities was exempt. It was exempt under section 1038. This exemption has been withdrawn in Finance Act 2018. So earlier, before 1st April 2018, it is totally exempted. Exempted means whatever you earn, you are not supposed to pay anything. It is totally tax-free. But from 1st April 2018, it is now taxable from assessment year 1920. So 1st April 2018 means your previous year will be, your previous year Yes. The previous year will be 18-19 and your assessment year will be 19-20. Okay. So from 19-20, new section 112A introduced. 112A. Now, as per this new section, where total income of an SSC includes long-term capital gain income, which long-term capital gain, which was earlier exempted under section 1038. It means this one, transfer of shares on which you have paid the STT, only transfer of shares. Now, shall now be taxable at the rate 10%. Now be taxable at the rate 10% on such capital gain exceeding 1 lakh rupee. Means up to 1 lakh rupee, no tax. Any long-term capital gain up to 1 lakh rupee, no tax. Now, in my example, Reliance. For example, if you have purchased the shares on 1st January 2014 instead of 2021. In last example, if you see the chat box, I have said that from 1st January 2021, you have purchased the shares. And in this July, you are selling the shares. So it is 7 months only. So it is short-term capital gain. Instead of 1st January, now I am saying that if I have purchased the shares on 1st January 2014, it means it's 7 years. So it is long-term capital gain. Okay. So now my capital gain is 50,000 rupees. So 50,000 rupees will be exempt. Why? Because it is long-term capital gain. It is on listed shares and it doesn't exceed 1 lakh rupee. All the conditions satisfied. That's why we are not supposed to pay any tax. Up to 1 lakh rupee, no tax will be payable. 1st January 2014 purchase, 27th July 2021 sale. So if you calculate the time period, it is more than 12 months. Obviously, it is more than 12 months. So whatever long-term capital gain you arise, that is 50,000, all these will be exempt. Exempt under which section? Under which section it is exempted? 112A. That's what we are learning. Under 112A. So if in exam question asked that capital gain exempted on securities if it doesn't exceed 1 lakh rupee, which section? 112A. Excess will be taxable. Excess will be taxable means in excess of 1 lakh rupee, it will be taxable. In excess of 1 lakh rupee, whatever the excess amount, it will be taxable. But on 1 lakh rupee, you are not supposed to pay any tax. The benefit of indexation shall not be allowed on such long-term capital gain. Now, benefit of indexation not allowed. Then, deductions under chapter 6A not allowed. That is your module 3. Not be allowed from long-term capital gain. Even though rebate under 87A will not be allowed. You will not get the benefit of rebate also. Rebate benefit will not be allowed. So, indexation not allowed. Deductions not allowed. Rebate also not allowed. It means simply calculate purchase minus sales, sales minus purchase, whatever the capital gain or capital loss, it will be taxable. That's it. You will not get the benefit of deductions, indexation, rebate, all these things. Yes, Brian.
So do you have to pay taxes on minus?
On?
Do you have to pay taxes on minus?
On which amount?
If I make a loss in the business.
Loss. No. You are not supposed to pay tax on losses. Losses will be set off. Loss will be set off. For example, in last year, I have loss. And this year, I have gain. So it will be set off. Okay? It will be set off. Last year, my loss is 50,000. Today, my profit is 1 lakh. So 1 lakh will be deducted from 50,000. Set off and carry forward. Your module number 2. That we will discuss later on. Set off and carry forward of losses. Clear? I told whether it is income or loss, you are supposed to pay any tax. That's why you asked that. Yeah. Okay. So now, cost of acquisition for computing long-term capital gain on listed equity says before 1st February 2018 shall be deemed to be higher of the following. This is not important. But why? Because we are not supposed to learn before 1st February 2018 what was that. Okay? We are supposed to calculate from today's perspective and not from the past perspective. Cost of acquisition for computing long-term capital gain in respect of listed equity shares acquired by SSE before 1st February 2018. For example, I have purchased shares on 1st January 2018. 1st January 2018. So my price will be deemed to be higher of the following. Higher of the following means first one, A, cost of acquisition of such asset, and B, lower of the following, fair market value as on 31st January 2018 or actual sales consideration on transfer. Okay, whichever is lower. In point B, whichever is lower amount. If we have found whichever is lower amount, then it will be compared with actual cost of acquisition, and higher of these two will be taxable, will be considered as your capital asset acquisition price. An example is also given. For example, Mr. Raman, salaried employee, in the month of January 2014 purchased 100 shares of X Limited, rupees 1400. So purchased 100 shares of 1400 per share from Bombay Stock Exchange. These shares were sold through Bombay Stock Exchange, BSE, in April 2018 as per 2,600 rupees per share. So 2,600 minus 1,400, that will be your sell minus purchase. Highest price of X Limited quoted on stock exchange on 31st January 2018 was 1800 per share. Now what will be the nature of capital gain in this case? So first of all, we have to identify the cost. Why? Because two costs are given. First one is 1400 and another one is 1800. So which one we have to consider? Which one we have to consider? Let me share the Excel sheet, okay? Wait. Mihir, Naushil, Kusal, Mishil. Why are you writing down the roll numbers? Have I told you to write down the enrollment number? Kushal, Mishil, Nihir, Naushil, and Mihir. You will not get the attendance. Hello, we will solve this illustration in next lecture, okay? It's already 11:14. All of you are requested to write down the enrollment number. Thank you. Ahmed, Kushal, Nishan, Nicholas.
Yes, sir.
Please write down your enrollment number. That's all for today.
Okay, sir. Okay.